But our yoga practice, we have opportunity and tools to working with our body, working with our breath to develop an awareness. And we're trying to bring this awareness with us everywhere. So for example, you're outside, Sasha, and you're wanting to enjoy your time outside. And so slowly you're being aware of everything around you, for birds, bees, the grass you're sitting in. You're developing a little awareness in your surrounding area. And we can bring this awareness to everything you're doing, and being with your friend, your family, your work, and being with your dog or your cat or whatever, and trying to be present, to be present in what we're doing. And so for example, many times we're with a friend or we're with someone physically, but maybe mentally we aren't there. Mentally we are planning what we want to eat for dinner, or thinking on your to-do list, I need to do this, and this, and it cuts us off. It means that we're not really aware and we're not being present. It's hard. It's very hard to maintain the sense of presentness all the time. It takes a lot of work, a lot of energy, but very slowly, we learn how to do that through a physical practice of yoga, by paying attention to how we're feeling in the body and the mind. The third session, so that was yesterday, we talked about rest, the importance of rest and balance in the body. And typically at the end of every yoga session, at the end of a physical class, we will have a period of rest. We call this rest Shavasana. Shavasana means something like corpse pose, like a dead body, but not in a gross sense. You may hear like dead body or like yucky, but the idea here that we want to take from this is that in taking a physical practice of yoga, we're making room in our body. We're working to cleanse our body and to release with our breath, with the exhale, things that we don't need. So our process of yoga is it can be an internal cleaning, physically helping to remove disease from the body, improving every system, the blood, the bones, your breathing, everything. And there is an idea that at the end of your practice, when you take rest, that you have a release, that something has died. Something has died that you don't need, in a good way. And death is a very normal part of life. For something to birth or to come into life, something needs to die. And we have that now. We're in spring. Things of the winter, things that have been sleeping or dead, are slowly finishing that cycle and giving way to a new cycle of spring. And it's perfect that you're outside, so you can see a little bit of this in action. So every time we have a practice of yoga, we have this opportunity to release something, to make space in our body for potential, to be open for potential. In another way to describe the process of yoga, it's moving from a point A to point B. And so it may or may not have anything to do with a physical movement, with a posture, what we're knowing in the West, standing in a tree posture or handstand or something like this. It doesn't matter. Where the process of yoga is helping to take us to reach our potential, to improve our life, to help us take that next step into reaching our best self. So something you thought was impossible for you becomes possible through a process. So it's very much the process in yoga that matters, not necessarily the outcome. The outcome is okay. It's a little bit important, but more important is the process that you took to get there. So maybe you probably hear the cliche phrase, it's not the destination that matters, it's the journey. And so that very much applies in our process, in our journey of yoga. It's very much Masa. A little play on the words here with Masa, but it is very much in Hebrew this deeper sense of word meaning a journey or a self process or process of self-realization. Do we have some more folks that joined us this morning? Yes. Hello. Good morning. Okay, so Olga was here yesterday. Someone, let's see, Mark, is this your first time joining, or were you here during the other days?
No, this is my first day.
Okay, so we're just going over a little bit of review of what we learned from Sunday until now.
Okay.
Can you hear me? You can hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Okay, great. Nice. Okay, nice to see someone else outside. So if you have questions or something that comes up, you can write either in the chat or you can turn on your audio and interrupt and ask us something. Yes, so yeah, that's it. You can feel free to keep your video on. I will be happy to see you. If you're not comfortable with it, you can close it. It's not super necessary. In a few moments, we will do some movement together. So those of you who are with us, try to see if you have space for a towel or a blanket or a yoga mat or something for some basic movement. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sababa. Okay, where were we? Okay, so talking about rest, again, back to the Shavasana or rest period at the end of class or the end of a practice of yoga. And relaxation, actual true relaxation and rest is something that I think we can say all of us in the West have a little bit of a hard time with. We are working all the time. Many of us are working all the time, even when now we're all stuck at home, isolated at home. So this is a bit different situation, but it's normal. It's pretty normal for people to be answering emails 10, 11 o'clock at night, or you're getting a WhatsApp notification 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, or, all hours of the day. So our way of modern living, we don't necessarily have all of these separations between home and work, or fun and work, and there's maybe expectation, okay, I need to reply to this message immediately, or you're thinking, oh, I need to do all these emails, this and this, and it's just endless. So many times we're not actually in a state of rest. We talked yesterday that probably most of you have experienced insomnia or difficulty sleeping, and maybe you wake up a lot during the night, or you're unable to sleep. Either the mind is working too much, or the body is in too much of a state of stress, and the body can't relax. And yesterday we did a technique of relaxation, so we'll do it again today. And we're slowly learning through yoga, through moving our body and through breathing, how it feels to relax. What does it mean to relax? To actually let go of everything, all of the muscles in the body, to release your breathing, releasing the mind. And we need this so that the body can go through its rest and reset period. Overnight while you're sleeping, we understand this is a time for the body to do self-repair. Your computer does a cleanup process or scanning for viruses. Your body does the same thing, usually in the evening. We have the hours of sleeping between 10 and 6, something like this. But during the time that you're sleeping, the body has processes that it needs to do in order to make you productive for the next day. And when we're in a state of stress and unable to relax, your body can't do it. So you can think for a moment to yourself, do you experience chronic pain? Do you have tension or tightness in certain areas of the body that Maybe you don't know why they're there. You don't have an injury, nothing happened to you, but yet maybe you have tightness in the hips or whatever part of the body, or maybe it comes to you as extra weight in the body. So now we're talking about how stress is affecting you. So when we're getting to this state where we're in a chronic state of stress, meaning that the body hasn't learned how to relax, and the body accumulates stress. The body accumulates stress, and so it can show up either as pain, tension, tightness in the neck, the shoulder, anywhere in the body, or extra weight. And you can think this is what's happening to us in a modern world because we don't have the ability to release this reaction to a stimulus of stress. We have the fight or flight instinct. So you can think for our ancestors many thousands of years ago. Yesterday I gave the example, okay, you're walking in the forest and suddenly a bear comes out and you have a reaction. You have a stressful reaction because your system turns to the fight or flight response. Your body needs to take care of yourself so you don't get eaten by the bear. So your choice is either to fight the bear or to run away. And both of those choices are giving you a release of this energy. It's giving you a way to output the energy that all your body has built up. But in our modern world, we don't have a real bear with teeth and claws. We have a different type of bear. Our work, our responsibility. The bear is looming over you all of the time, but we can't exactly respond in the same way. We can't really fight it and we can't really run away from it. So we're just stuck with this bear all the time. So we're stuck with this stress. And if we don't understand or know how to deal with the stress, like we said a moment ago, the stress is building up in your body. And for many people, it's resulting in health problems, disease later in life, or more serious problems due to unresolved stress. And learning these processes of yoga, how to relax properly, how to move, how to breathe, can help you to manage your stress in a much healthier way. So today we're going to talk about the breath. This is very important. We can spend much more time talking about all of it together, but we'll spend some time to talk about the breath. At some point, if you can't hear me, if something goes wrong, let me know so I can adjust the microphone or whatever. Okay. Our breathing. Just for a moment, wherever you are, wherever you're sitting or lying down, whatever is your position for today, just take a moment and close the eyes and bring your attention onto your breathing. Don't do anything special. Just try for a moment, close your eyes, bring your attention onto your breath. Are you able to breathe at all? If you're not feeling well, you're congested, zealot, whatever, maybe you can't breathe. If you're breathing, where do you feel the breath in the body? Do you breathe through the nose? Are you breathing through the mouth? Do you feel air in the throat? Just take a moment or two and try to notice your breath. It's something we take for granted a little bit, a process we have with us literally from the moment of birth until death. Some yogis describe life as just one big breath, one big inhale and exhale. So we're starting to bring our attention onto the breath, and this is a great way to start to build your sense of awareness, to learn how to become aware of our feelings in the body, learning to become aware of the breath. So now as you're becoming aware of the breath, where do you feel the breath in the body? Do you feel the breath in the throat or the chest, just as you're breathing regularly? Where do you feel the breath in the body? Yeah, most of us in our day-to-day breathing, we're not making full use of the lungs. We're breathing pretty much only into the lower throat or the chest area. And this is a very shallow and incomplete breath. And we're wanting to use the entirety of the lungs. Think of it like you're deep sea diving. Why on earth wouldn't you use all of your air tank? Like, it doesn't make sense. So the same, we're deep sea diving on Earth, not in the water. Why wouldn't we make use of all of our lungs? Yes, seems like an easy question to answer, but we understand it's not so easy. Yes, so many of us are spending a lot of time in a sitting posture, either in a desk or studying or any variation of sitting, either sitting like you're watching TV and maybe you're kind of sitting like this, or you're at the desk and you end up also sitting hunched over like this over time. Depending on your age, it may not be hopefully this severe yet, but for some people it is this severe. And so you can see in a sitting posture like that, if you're sitting at the desk and your body is starting to look like this, you have compression in the lower back, you've closed now the lungs, so it's almost like you're pinching the upper portion of your lungs and closing the shoulders. It's very hard to breathe like this. When we're sitting in a desk, it's very hard for the lower back, but if you can have a support for the lumbar spine, for the lower back, and try to sit either with the back as close to the back of the chair as possible to encourage the spine to be lifting and support from the lower back, or getting closer to the edge so you can try to maintain the straightness of the spine. Many times we end up sitting like this. We can come back to that a little bit later, but I want to come back to the breath in a bigger picture. There's a quote I want to share with you from one of the books of yoga. So the quote says, "When the breath wanders, the mind is unsteady. When the breath is still, the mind is still." One more time. When the breath wanders, the mind is unsteady. When the breath is still, the mind is still. What does that mean? It means when our breath is uncontrolled or unregulated, just doing whatever it wants, our mind is following. Our mind is doing whatever it wants. Our mind is unsteady. But when we're focusing our attention, focusing our awareness on our breath, we're able to focus the mind. We will do examples later in a few moments to do a breathing exercise together and you will understand. But when your mind or when your whole body, everything needs to focus on regulating and controlling in your breath, it's a lot of work. And so the mind has less room to be distracted and take itself on a vacation. We call this breath, or the control of the breath in yoga, we call this pranayama. Prana is the life force or energy that we have. Pranayama, breath control, helps to revitalize the body, like we said, and quiet the mind, to encourage a calmness and a sense of peace that you already have. You already have the sense of peace and calmness. You just need a little bit of help to connect with it. For yogi, someone practicing yoga, there are two main functions of proper breathing: to bring more oxygen into the blood and then to the brain, and also to control our energy, to control our prana, our life force, and that helps to control the mind, like we said. So we have three types of basic breathing. What I said before about breathing into the chest, the upper chest, clavicular. This is the clavicle, these big bones here. And most people are breathing in this area. Then we have intercostal breathing, which is in the middle around the ribs. So the intercostal, this is the place of the ribs. Inter is between, costal is side. So you can feel if you stretch to the side, you feel openness through the side of the ribs. We can also breathe here, breathing either out or a bit forward through the ribs. Then we have abdominal or belly breathing, which is lower into the upper body in the area of the belly. A full yogic breathing combines all three sections together, beginning with a deep breath and continuing the inhalation up. So we can try that together now. Wherever you are, you can either take a simple sitting posture and try to lift the spine if it's not comfortable for you to sit. I recommend lying on the back like this with the knees bent. Now place the hands on the belly. Exhale out. Now as you inhale, try to breathe into the belly through the nose. So you want to try to pull the air deep into the belly. You feel the belly expand a little bit like a balloon. Breathe deeply in through the nose and out through the nose. Feel a little bit of lifting through the belly like a balloon. Yes, the belly will expand and then contract with the exhale. So you can keep the hands on the belly here. Try for 3 to 5 breaths, inhaling deeply to the belly. Now slowly try to bring the air a little bit higher. So breathing from the belly, bringing into the ribs, the area, the intercostal, the middle of the upper body. So try breathing through the nose from the belly, up to the ribs and back down. Inhaling from the lower belly, breathing deeply through the nose, feel the air expand through the middle to the ribs, and exhale back down. Try a few more breaths, maybe about 2 more breaths, breathing deeply from the belly, up into the area of the ribs. Now bringing the third part, you're bringing the upper chest into it. So starting from the belly, let the air come up to the ribs and finally to the upper part of the chest. So for some of you, maybe you've never felt this sensation before. It may be very intense, or maybe it's a bit uncomfortable. We're trying to bring the air deeply from the lower belly up to the ribs and all the way up to the top of the chest. And then from the chest, exhaling back down from the chest, the ribs to the belly. So these 3 parts, the belly, the ribs, and the upper chest, to a 3-part breathing to help encourage you to breathe more deeply. Try to take 2 to 3 more breaths like this, full complete breathing from the belly up to the ribs and all the way up to the chest. You should feel a lifting and expansion through the body. And exhale in the same way through the nose, gently exhaling the air out. We are wanting to breathe through the nose and not the mouth. Breathing through the mouth will encourage you a more shallow breath. So breathing through the mouth is drier air. So you will dry out the throat. You can think back to nights that you're asleep and your nose is clogged and you need to breathe through the mouth. Very quickly you experience like dry mouth and it's very uncomfortable. When we're breathing only into the upper part of the lungs, we're, we're reducing the health of our body. We have a lack, maybe experience even lack of energy here, and a poor resistance to disease. The lungs, it's your ability to breathe. If the lungs are in poor condition, you can think, if you know people who have a disease of the lungs or are sick from smoking or something, their lungs are damaged, they have trouble breathing. And if we can't breathe, all of our other life forces, our life processes are impaired. Our breath is our key to life. And our practice of yoga pretty much requires that we learn how to breathe properly, how to reverse these habits of poor breath. So we're wanting to learn how to breathe in and out through the nose. And breathing through the nose, we're breathing more slowly, almost like you're drinking air through a straw. So the slower time that we are breathing helps to work the lungs. The lungs, it's a muscle, so we need to exercise the muscle. Also, that we have hair. Obviously, we know we have hair on the inside of the nose, and it's there for a reason. The hair is helping to filter the air. The hair is helping to filter the air, yes. So things you're inhaling, there are particles of pollution or other yucky stuff that you are inhaling. And the nose, the hairs in the nose are helping to filter this out. You can think, if you ever visited a very polluted city, if you blow your nose, what comes out is sometimes black or gray. It's really disgusting. And so that means that's what you're inhaling, and that's going into your lungs. So it's very important to breathe in and out through the nose. Yes. And in this way, we're able to promote a more complete inhalation and exhalation using the entirety of the lungs. So there's another element of breathing on this deep breathing. We're trying to use a muscle called the diaphragm. It looks a little bit like a parachute inside of the body. If you are a musician, if you're playing an instrument with your mouth, a wind instrument or a brass instrument, you will understand this a little bit better than maybe a non-musician. But anyone playing an instrument, you also need to learn how to breathe properly so you can sustain your breath, your music. You can breathe and not interrupt the person next to you. And so anyone, a musician, will learn how to use the diaphragm, how to breathe deeply through the nose to promote music. It's a very nice example to think about. If you have friends who are playing music, they can also give you a tutorial. So the diaphragm, as you're exhaling, the belly contracts. The belly goes in, the diaphragm goes up, massaging the heart. And when you inhale, the belly expands, the diaphragm goes down, massaging the abdominal organs, all of the organs in the stomach cavity. We have a lot of stuff here that's working. Organs on the front side, organs on the back side. So again, one more time to repeat that. When you exhale, the belly contracts and the diaphragm goes up, helping to massage the heart. And when you inhale, the belly expands, the diaphragm goes down, helping to massage the organs in the stomach cavity. And all of this massage or movement is very healthy for the organs on the inside, helping to promote blood flow and circulation between all of the organs. We have 3 stages for a single breath. We have an inhale, a period of retention or holding, and an exhale. So the exhale out of all of it is actually, the exhale is most important. So if you're experiencing difficulty in either one, either in inhaling, if you can't inhale very much or it's painful for you, maybe you have a tight back and you can't inhale that deeply, it's okay. Everything is okay. Try to focus on the exhale. So in the exhale, we're releasing used air. We're releasing CO2 and other toxins through the exhale. Toxins can be released through our breath, through our sweat, through the bottoms of the feet. Basically, any liquid that's coming out of your body is helping you to remove toxins. Yeah, it's a little bit like yucky sometimes. We've got weird stuff that happens in our body, but it's it's there for a reason. We won't go into much detail on that, but I can say one more time, it's important what you're eating. Like we talked about a few days ago, what you're putting into your body is very important. You can understand from the things that come out of your body, what is the state of your health? What is your sweat like? What is it like when you have a bathroom visit? If those things are not in good condition, it's a sign that there's something wrong in your body. And sometimes we don't understand that until it's too late, until there's a disease, until something's really gone wrong. So we'll go back onto the breath. Yes, so you can think when you're starting to breathe deeply or any kind of breathing exercise, for now you can focus on the exhale. Focus on trying to exhale and get rid of as much used oxygen as possible. Another reason for inhaling through the nose, like we talked about, the hair is filtering the air and also the air is being warmed. In the winter, it's more important, but that the air is warmer. So when we have a cold air coming into the body, it's like a shock for the system. Anything cold, very cold water, cold air, coldness, we feel it makes everything tight. So cold air will also like narrow the blood veins and reduce a little bit the circulation. Inhaling warmer air is a bit healthier for the body. It's promoting a better circulation. And we also have a direct connection to the brain through our nose and the eyes. We have, it's called olfactory glands. Olfact, it's like a Latin word that means nose. But it's we have glands in the very top of the nose. You can think if you're inhaling really deeply to smell something good, a flower, a spice, a perfume, something. You really inhale deeply and you kind of can feel or hold that feeling in the back of the nose. And you have that smell. You can think also the sense of smell as a direct relation to memory. I'm sure all of you can think of a specific smell and a memory that goes with that smell. No matter how many times you try to change the memory, you always have this particular memory with the smell. For instance, in my life, my mother had a specific perfume that she always liked to wear, and when I smell it, no matter where I am, I immediately think of her. And so through our nose and our eyes, we have this direct connection to the brain. And as we said before, controlling our breath, we're able to control our mind or influence the mind. We're not necessarily like Magneto from X-Men or something and doing like crazy mind control, you know, but we have a way to influence and to quiet the mind. This is this is one of our goals of yoga, to control, or to control sometimes doesn't have a great connotation, so it's a bit more gentle than that. We're not forcing, so we don't want any pain or any forcing. If it's not coming easily, we don't want to have a conflict against it. It's a slow process of learning how to quiet the mind, how to still the mind. You can think of the mind being like a lake or a body of water, and every time there's a distraction or something that comes in, it's like you're throwing a rock into the water, and so the water then starts to have waves. And what we want to learn how to do is learn how to come back to the stillness. Every time you have waves, the waves can stay either for a very long time, or if we have the tools to learn how to connect with our breath, how to connect with a deeper sense of self, we can learn how to return to this state of equilibrium in a quicker way. Yes, so now I want you to try something else to connect with your breath on your own, each of you, wherever you are, outside or inside. Listen, listen with your ears, listen with your body for the lowest sound or the slowest sound that you can hear around you. So if you want, you can like take out the headphones for a minute and listen to in your environment. Take a moment or two, listen for the lowest sound, and try to connect your breathing to the sound. It will happen almost like without your control. So just try to listen to the lowest sound in the room. Just focus on the sound. You will unconsciously slow down your breath. Try not to overthink about it, but just try to release and let go of anything that you're holding on to. Whatever is the lowest sound, maybe if you're outside, maybe it's a wind blowing through the trees or birds or something. If you're inside, I don't know, maybe it's a motor of a refrigerator or the computer or something else, but listen really deeply, try to listen for the lowest sound and notice how that affects your breathing. I'll give you a moment or two to try this exercise. Excuse me. And slowly start to bring yourself back to where you are and come to a sitting posture. So this was a nice exercise that you could do anytime you want. If you're having trouble or you're feeling anxious or something, this is a good technique to relieve that and helping to relieve stress, to reconnect with the breath, find that low point, something to calming to listen to, a low frequency. It will help calm you down and connect with the breathing. So we will move on to a little bit of movement. I want to do a little movement with you today, and then I will teach you a breathing technique. I think I will try to share the screen in case you don't have the document that I want to give you. I don't know. Okay, so I will try it, and wait a minute. Let's see. Not this one. Not this one. Okay, that one. Oops. Let's see. Just a second. Sorry. Files. And then it's basic. Okay, that's not working. Never mind. I sent it a few days ago. I will send it. I will find a way to send it again. But for now, you can just hopefully everybody can see me, so it won't be a problem. It's not very complicated movement. Come to a sitting posture. Try to sit cross-legged. If it's not comfortable like this, you can sit another way that's comfortable for you. We did this a few days ago, but for those of you who are new, we'll do this again today. Very basic set of movements that are great to do in the morning or the evening, anytime, really any time of the day. So in a basic sitting posture, try to keep the spine elevated and lifted, openness to the front of the body. In the future, if your knees are higher than the hips, if it's something like this for you or higher, you want to lower the legs. So if you can sit, try to elevate your hips and sit on something, or yeah, you can sit on the knees, whatever, it's fine. Try to breathe a few, like the 3-part breathing we did from the belly up to the ribs, up to the chest. Take about 2 breaths like that. So starting with the nose, inhale deeply to the belly. Bring the air all the way up to the top of the chest and exhale back down. Inhale from the belly, ribs up to the top of the chest, and exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Okay, now on the next breath, reach the arms up with the inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach over to the right. Something happened. Can twist to the right. Something happened and it looks like you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Yes? Yes? Okay. I will leave it alone, my bad. So we're in a bit of a gentle twist here. So what we did, we lifted the arms with the inhale. The exhale, we went to twist over to the right. Gentle twist of the spine. To go a little bit more deeply, the left hand can come to the knee. We're trying to keep the spine lifted. If it's too intense, don't go so far. So we have slight twisting of the upper body. If you can rotate the neck, looking over the right shoulder. On the next breath, exhale out. Inhale to the center. Reach up, lift through the ribs, exhale to the left. Gentle twist over to the left side. Inhale to the center. Good. Exhale, bring the hands down. Okay, the second movement, we'll reach the hands up with the inhale. You can bring the hands together and interlace the fingers. Reach the arms up. Inhale, can try to reach the arms up. If your hands are a bit more flexible, you could flip the hands if you like. You don't have to. Just another movement here. But keeps the arms lifted. Try to find that deep 3-part breathing again. Breathing from the belly up to the ribs, all the way, making use of the lungs. And exhale, lower the arms. Okay, we'll do something for the shoulders now. You can reach the arms in front of you. I'm starting with the right arm. The right elbow comes to cross over the left elbow. We're wrapping the arms. Try to wrap the arms. Yeah, so elbow to elbow. Yeah, yes. It's a bit awkward at first. Yeah, maybe this may be enough for you. Or if you can keep rotating the arms, yeah, try to wrap the arms around each other. Can. Good. Yes. So we should be feeling here along the upper back, along the shoulders, the shoulder blades. And each of you will feel this differently. Maybe it's very intense, maybe it's not intense. And from here, you can move the arms. You can go side to side, slowly and gently, a little bit side to side. Yes, try to feel what's going on in the shoulders. You can bring the arms closer to your face, in, hugging the arms in, or pushing the arms away from you. You can also bring the arms up or down. This is a great exercise for the shoulders, for upper back tension, tightness, stiffness of the upper back area. As you're breathing, try to breathe into the upper back. And exhale, release the arms. We'll switch sides. You can shake out the wrists, shake out the arms, and we'll switch. So the left elbow, or opposite, if you did the opposite, elbow to elbow. and twist. Exactly. Yeah. Good. Yep. Elbow to elbow. Can exactly. Okay. So maybe you notice here a little bit of difference in the right side and the left side of the shoulders. Maybe not. But the same movements up and down, side to side, forward and back, whatever you feel like in the body, always moving slowly. We don't want to make sudden or extreme movements. Moving slowly with feeling, with awareness. And release the arms, exhale. Good. Come and take a position of tabletop, of Amidat Shesh. Yeah, so you're in a tabletop position, Amidat Shesh. Yeah. The wrist comes underneath the shoulder, the knees come underneath the hips. And we start to try and connect breath with movement. With the inhale, slightly arch the lower back, lift the head. Exhale, like a cat. The back is like a cat. Push the shoulders up. Inhale, lengthen the spine, come forward. Exhale, curl the spine upward. Inhale. And exhale, curl the spine upward. Yeah, so it's basically just this arching movement. We're not changing the position of the hands or the feet. We're just changing the position of the spine a little bit. Promoting healthy movement of the spine. This is an amazing movement and exercise for everyone of all ages. You can do this too much. This is amazing for the spine, for the whole body, and to connect your movement. So the inhale, we're opening the front of the body, and the exhale, we're closing. You can return to a kneeling posture, to sitting. Yeah, you can return to a kneeling posture. We'll continue with some more movement tomorrow, but for now I want to teach you another breathing technique. We'll come a little bit closer to the camera. Okay. So we're going to use the hand to manipulate the nose a little bit. I'll talk for a moment and demonstrate, and then we'll do it together. So yesterday we talked about the balance and rest. Another goal of yoga is to balance the body, to balance the right side, to balance the left side, to bring everything into a better state of harmony. So I'm sure each of you probably has a more dominant side. One side of your body is stronger, one side you feel a little bit weaker. Whatever, you always drink your coffee or talk on the phone with this hand and you do something else with this hand. Doesn't matter. But we're wanting to bring both of these sides into balance, and we can start to do that by isolating the breath through each side of the nose. So the right side of the body is the more masculine side, more active, more yang side, yang from Chinese medicine. The left side is our feminine side, and the moon side, more passive. And by isolating the nose, each side of the nose, we can work with each side independently and together. So the breathing technique that we'll do today is called Nadi Shodhana. Nadi is a channel, and Shodhana is cleansing, so channel cleansing. Name not so important for you to remember than the actual technique. We will close. We start by gently pressing. It's not like you're pushing your nose or something. It's gently closing the right side of the nose. Then we use the ring finger to alternate between opening and closing each side of the nose. You can just do that for a moment. This is not the real technique, just to get your hand used a little bit to closing the right and left side of the nose. Okay, so I will talk through it and then we'll do it together. We start this particular one, we're starting from the left side. So my thumb, I'm going to close my right side of the nose. I'm going to inhale through the left side for about a count of 3 or 4. At the top, I'm holding the breath. So we talked a little bit about breath retention. I'm holding the breath in for a moment. Close the left side, exhale through the right. Hold, if you can, a retention out. If it's too much, don't do it. Immediately then inhale through the right side. Close with the thumb, exhale to the left side. So this is one round, again, with less talking of me. Inhale through the left side. Close the left side gently, exhale to the right side for about a count of 3 or 4 for now, something easy for you. Inhale to the right side. Close the right side, exhale through the left. Inhale to the left side. Close the left side, exhale to the right. Inhale to the right side. Close the right side, exhale to the left. Inhale to the left side. Close, exhale to the right side. Inhale to the right side. Close, exhale to the left. One more time, inhale to the left side. Close the left side, exhale to the right. Inhale to the right side. Close, exhale to the left. You can release the hand now. Take 2 big breaths with the nose open. So this was a very short breathing exercise. If you like, you can turn on your microphone and talk to me and tell me what you felt. If you have questions about today's session or the other sessions, I think it will be easier to talk on the Zoom. So you can unmute yourself if you want to.
When we were breathing, when we were laying down and listening to like the quietest thing
I
we
can't,
could.
Mark, I can't hear you. Maybe it's me.
Can you hear me now?
Wait a minute.
I
Someone
can hear
else
him.
try to unmute you. Unmute yourself. Maybe
I can hear Mark.
Oops. Let's see.
I think it's your volume.
Okay, just a second. It's me. It's my problem. Things are not working. Built-in speaker. Okay. Yes. Unmute. Unmute. Okay. Wait. Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah, that was my problem.
Okay. But when we were like laying down, listening to like the quietest thing, like focusing on that, I really like zoned out. It was really like very calming, but like I don't know, trippy a little bit.
Yeah, that can definitely happen, especially being outside. Um, it's yes, we can absolutely achieve like a natural high from just being in nature, from being outside, from connecting with the beauty of nature. It's amazing if you if you have opportunity to feel this. I think it's hard. It's very hard to get there, to let go of everything and to just be embraced by nature. It's wonderful. I'm happy that you felt that. Um, how did you feel with the breathing? Was it possible, or you felt the resistance?
Well, I guess the last few days I've been stretching more, and I ran a little bit yesterday. I do have asthma, so there's always a little resistance, but it was pretty. It wasn't too bad.
Great.
Uh, uh, I felt like as I went on, I felt my lungs stretching more. The diet, like the breathing, I don't know if I've ever like really breathed in through my stomach, right?
Yes, it's when you go now tonight, when you go to sleep, try to pay attention to that moment right before you fall asleep. Either you or if you have a roommate or a partner or something, they can also like watch you. Um, but your breathing transition. So at night we can check the health of our breathing. It's something babies do. Babies breathe this way automatically. They're doing a belly breathing. You're breathing in through the nose, and it's a gentle. It's a bit softer than what we did today, but when you're in a state of rest, if your breathing automatically changes to nose and belly breathing, you feel the belly gently going up and down. This means that your breath is healthy, your body is in a good state of health. So you can check at night, um, right before you're falling asleep, if you have the awareness to notice how is your breathing, and you can sometimes catch it, or sometimes we're too tired, or I don't know. You could record yourself also
Okay.
to watch your breath. Yes, but it's hard. It's very hard to recondition ourselves to breathe properly. But now that you learned a little bit, you can pay attention during the day, and when you have the moments when you're sitting, especially when you're sitting, it happens that our body, we just automatically are starting sometimes to breathe into the chest or the throat. But when you have this knowledge, you can change your breath and try to breathe more through the nose to breathe into the belly. That makes sense.
Yeah. A lot of times when I'm sitting down, I'll start like yawning a lot because like I feel like I'm not really breathing, or I'll forget to breathe.
Yeah, that can happen. It can definitely happen. Yes. But it's good. Like we said a few days ago, you weren't here, but just starting to pay attention into what you're doing, how you're breathing, how you're moving. This is slowly the way to start making changes.
Okay.
So starting with awareness, and then slowly changing to changing how we're functioning. Um,
If I can add to that, um, I've kind of dropped in and out of yoga and breathing over many months, many years too. And it's every time that I kind of restart, um, it's frustrating and hard. I can tell that I don't breathe as deep. My inhale and exhale isn't as long. But if I do it more regularly every day or a couple of times during the day, even just a little bit, I can, after a few days of being frustrated about it, you can really tell that it's changing. So it's just something that I have to remind myself of every time that I come back to it. And maybe that's helpful for other people too.
yes, it is absolutely. I think yes, what you said is very realistic picture of what happens for all of us, and what you said, the importance of a little bit, trying a little bit, whatever is possible for you every day when you remember, when whatever you're having your coffee, you're in the bathroom, the shower, anytime that you happen to remember it, try to take a few moments and breathe properly. The effects are endlessly beneficial to you. Yes. The frustration, if we can try to release it. I know it's difficult, and maybe you feel disappointment or you're annoyed with yourself or any other feelings. Tomorrow we will talk a bit about a bit more on the philosophy of yoga, but some of these ways that, like, how are we treating ourselves? So we'll talk a little bit more on those specifics tomorrow, and continue with more movement. But yes, the breathing, like, if nothing else, if you take nothing else away from these sessions, the breathing I think is maybe the most, I don't know, it's all important, but the breathing will change your life. Do you have anyone have other questions or comments? No. How are you?
And I want to thank you because after yesterday's exercise, I tried to do it in the night and I had an excellent sleep, and that's great. I'll do it every evening. It was really wonderful. And about this exercise, I noticed that I still breathe through my chest. Should I try to do it, put it down and breathe from belly, or it's not important because the breath becomes deeper?
Yes, during this exercise of the alternate nostril breathing, yes, we're wanting to try to breathe deeply, but if it's too difficult right now, don't force it. You can change, when you say inhale for a count of 3 or 4, for example, for me, this is what's comfortable. I can show you now. If I try to breathe longer, I feel a stuckness. I feel a bit of resistance because it's too much. So you want to do this slowly, and over time, as you are starting to breathe more correctly, it will help deepen your capacity. So try not to force it now, but to breathe as deeply as you can. Try to keep the spine lifting, and you can keep breathing up belly. Even just with and without as you inhale, where do you feel the air? You should be feeling up and down from the belly. If it doesn't happen, you practice slowly practicing to bring it deeper. Yes. Yeah, a little bit more practice. But again, if you're feeling, force it. Don't